And then going into further in that episode, one of the big parts of our talks about The Last Kingdom is the scenes of camaraderie within the group. Because a lot of dramas, I think they always stick to like negative drama between characters to make drama. Yeah. But I really like what we call bro moments in the group. The Uhtred and Finnan moment at the top of the hill there. Can you tell us about that scene? Was that all written down, or because that was a very emotional scene?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with the actors before I started filming with them, one-on-one. And cool. Especially with Alex, because he had this huge journey to go on in my episodes, huge loss, and then the recovery and the father-son dynamic, losing a father and having to become a father, it was huge for him. One of the things we all spoke about actually was that those bro moments, as you call them, and how actually with that scene on the hill, it is Finnan doing what he can for him, and then also covering for him when he goes back down to the rest of the guys.
Yes.
To sort of say, he's okay, don't worry. So he's shaken back, I think, but he knows what he needs to do and knows he'll get him back. And, I was really interested. I'm really interested in emotion and to see, male characters, these warriors, being able to show it. Or not being able to help showing it.
Absolutely. I think you do it well, the actors do it well, and you help capture it well, and especially in episode 3. And one moment particularly that was kind of nostalgic that I really liked is when they were leaving Bebbanburg and the pull. And I don't know if it was deliberate, but it just brought me back and Steve back to season 2 on the slave ship. And it was like Uhtred's reached his lowest point, since that lowest point, it's like his next lowest point. It's kind of how we interpreted it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a real joy to be able to go into that emotion a bit. And it was really important to, Alex and I worked quite hard together before we got to any of the filming, in plotting his emotional journey. So it wasn't repetitive. Because he has those moments where he's on the hill or he's by the lake, and it sort of culminates in him burying the cross. So it was just, we both really want to make sure that each moment was different for him, and that it was moving and changing, so he could get to that end point to lay it all to rest and to get on with it.
Kind of going through the stages of grief, I guess. Yeah. He shows anger and then despair and, very cool.
Yeah. And then looking at the ways that affected his relationship with his son.
Yes, yeah.
And how that anger, what that anger is about. Is it about him or is it not about him? And where Finnan is also the peacemaker in that, which was, they're great scenes. Because those scenes, they're full of what's not said, which is the most interesting thing.
Oh, it is interesting. Yes. Yeah. And it kind of had, I guess, Uhtred really needed it to be his son to be the one to say, I'll be with you, or, pretty much tell him I got your back, for him to kind of push him forward. Very cool.
Yeah. And that scene was like 4 a.m, I remember.
Really?
In a tent. Yeah, 4 a.m. in a tent, pouring down, and we were all shattered after a week of nights. So there was a real sort of rawness to the atmosphere in that tent, just the 3 of us there, rehearsing, because of all that had gone and where we were, and just the sort of, the physicality of that evening can really help.
Wow.